Tua shouldn't have been in that game. So the NFLPA, rightfully so, has launched an investigation into whether or not Tua was, when he was in the concussion protocol, whether it was followed when he returned to the game. Anybody with eyes could see that Tua was hurt, that he was woozy, that he was wobbly, that he had his bell rung, whatever you want to call it. Because I've seen a lot of people with back injuries. Nobody looks dizzy and discombobulated because of a back injury. If it was his back, he probably wouldn't have got up in the first place. But okay, let's say it was his back. Let's say it was actually his back. Then how did his back heal well enough for him to be back in the game? Because if you got a back injury that caused you to barely be able to walk, then it's probably like, that's not, look, he shook it off right there. That's not his back.
Yeah.
And if your back sees it, look, he's clearly dizzy. Yeah. He can't even walk. But if that is his back,
you can see him doing that. You can see him doing that with his head. Like
after his head hits the back of his head hits the turf. What do you have spotters for? What do you have independent neurological consultants for? What do you have all of this if somebody can hit the back of his head on the turf, get up, can't walk, and have to be helped to the sideline, only for him to pass the concussion protocol like that? If he passed the concussion protocol, maybe he did pass the concussion protocol. Clearly it's flawed. Clearly there's a hole in your process, because he shouldn't have been able to pass said concussion protocol. And if they made a determination based off of the information that they had, they made the wrong determination. He should have been out of that game, full stop. Full stop. Should have been out of that game. Back injury or head injury, shouldn't have come back.
I can tell you, I can say with pretty full confidence that he did not pass the protocol. Sometimes on the side, I teach sports journalism, and one of the sessions, I do it every semester. One of the sessions is with the Concussion Legacy Foundation.
Yeah.
Boston University has a pretty substantial concussion, CTE. It has been leading the industry with this research. So we have somebody come in every semester talking about the concussion policies in every sport. And one thing we got to remember, and I'm always happy to have this reminder, that to have a true concussion protocol, it takes time. So you can't do it, if you're doing it right, you can't do it in 5 minutes. You can't do it in 10 minutes.
Right.
And so
that's what I'm saying.
It just takes.
There's a flaw. Whatever your protocol is flawed.
Right. And here's the other thing that makes it difficult. You have to be in a quiet space. So you can't. So if you're doing it on the sideline, so if somebody's on the sideline, 75,000 people, and you're asking them a bunch of questions, and they're able to answer those questions correctly.
I think they go to the locker room for it. I think they do take them to the locker room or take them somewhere else. But you also should not be soliciting the opinion of the concussed, allegedly, potentially.
Exactly.
Like, I don't care.
So there's some
at this
steps.
point, I don't care what you have to say. It's their job to protect the players from themselves. And so whatever steps they took, I do believe they followed it, Michael, only because if they didn't follow it, then you were about to lose your job. If somebody going to get fired if they did not follow the concussion protocol. I believe they followed it, but it's not advanced enough. It's not thorough enough. If somebody who illustrates that kind of behavior can return to the game as quickly as he did.
I think it's a conversation.
Same thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's a conversation that needs to be had in all sports. I mean, the Tua situation yesterday, brings attention to it, but I think all sports really need to go back to the basics and say, what are we doing? What is our concussion policy? What are our protocols? Sure. Are they accurate? Are they up to date? Hockey is probably the worst because the players will run away from you. The players will not even allow you to ask them those questions because they know what that means. So sometimes you can't find the players when you're trying to administer a concussion test. No, they're not going to do it because they want to get back on the ice.
Same thing happened with the Chargers, and I know we'll talk about the Jaguars, but on the Chargers side, so Justin Herbert gets shot up by the same who punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung, correct?
Keep your hands off me.
So gets a pain-killing shot for fractured rib cartilage in order to play in this game. Okay? End of the game, they get in the break speed off him by Jacksonville, and he wants to finish the game with his teammates. You know how I love me some Brandon Staley. But that's not even a conversation. Yeah. That's not up for discussion. You have fractured rib cartilage. It's 38-10. Why is Justin Herbert in the game? Because he felt it was important to be in the game? That's great. I feel it's important for you to be here the rest of the season. Nah, man. These players should not have that much agency over their own health because they're going to almost always want to play.
Well, they can say, hey, that's my decision to make. I don't tell you when you can't go to work. You can't tell me when not to. I mean, it opens up this whole conversation. Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.